Uncle Jed?
Yeah, boy?
I need to talk to you. I got trouble.
What kind of trouble?
Girl trouble.
What kind of girl trouble?
The worst kind. I ain't got one.
Oh, let's sit down, boy. What you hiding behind you there?
This is a picture of you when you was my age.
What you doing with that?
Well, I was hoping it'd jog your memory a mite. Granny says when this picture was took, you was a lady killer at Cass Cab.
Well, you know, Granny liked to stretch the truth when, What are you doing?
Notice the resemblance?
What do you want, boy?
I want some advice on how to get girls.
Well, I ain't the one to give you that. I wasn't a lady killer at Cass County.
You wasn't?
No, there's plenty of fellas had me backed off. There was, well, let me see now. There was, Now, you take old... What do you want to know, boy?
I want to know just exactly how you went about getting a girl.
Well, as I recollect, I'd done my best girl getting on Saturday afternoons.
Yes, sir?
Used to get all slicked up and go into town and stake out a good spot in front of the general store and go to whittling.
Whittling?
Yep. On a long piece of soft pine, just about like that. Of course, out of the corner of my eye, I was watching the girls.
I see.
Right now, let me warn you about something. You got to keep half your mind on your watching and half on your whittling. A little too much of one or the other, and you're liable to lose a girl or a finger.
I understand.
Well, now, I didn't do none of my fancy whittling until I seen a pretty girl come along. Then I would peel off about a foot and a half. I'd peel off about a foot and a half curler, so thin. I'd peel off about a foot and a half curler. You got to remember that I ain't done much girl getting whittling for a number of years.
And then what happened, Uncle Jed?
Then I'd show her a few of my fancy mumbly peg throws, like my 3 1/2 off the wrist, or my side spinner off the ear, or the nose winder. And while I was doing that, I'd mention the barn dance that night, and before you know it, we was acquainted.
Hot dog! Uncle Jed, would you mind putting an edge on this while I go inside and get slicked up?
Sure, boy, but I got to tell you one thing.
What?
This whittling business worked for me because I thought it up, but you might just lay an egg.
I'd rather try whittling.
Fine, boy.
You thought it up, it's bound to be good. Lady killer, you. I'm going into town and get me a girl. Maybe 3 or 4. Maybe a whole truckload.
Yeehaw! Yippee! Put me down, you big lummin'. What was all that for?
He's just full of oats, Granny.
I declare that boy'll eat anything.
He ain't been eating them, he just feels them.
Uh-oh.
Huh? Jethro says you told him how to get a girl.
Yep.
Well, tell me so's I can get a fella.
Well, I don't think it'll work for a girl, Ellie. You'd best ask Granny how to get a fella.
Well, would you tell me, Granny?
Let me think about it.
Oh, please.
I'm going to do it. I just want to think about it. At my age, you got to take your fun where you find it. Now, as I recollect, us girls used to do our best hunting in front of the general store on a Saturday afternoon.
Well, how come?
'Cause that's where the fellas used to stand and pretend to whittle whilst they watched the girls.
Well, Granny, I ain't never seen fellas whittling in front of stores in Beverly Hills.
Yeah. Come to think of it, they probably ain't no boys around today that dumb.
Got my pocket knife ready, Uncle Jed? Uncle Jed, I got plenty of that soft whittling wood you told me to get.
Yeah, now listen, boy, I got some more to tell you.
Shucks, Uncle Jed, you done told me all I need to know. Once I go to peeling off them long curls, I got it made. I'm gonna be the lady killer of Beverly Hills.
Granny, I didn't realize the boy was so desperate.
Ellie, too. Or if she ain't, she ought to be. I can't go on telling folks she's 14 forever.
You have got to meet other young'uns. And there's only one sure way to do it, city or country.
A wingding.
A wingding?
That's what Mr. Clampett said he wanted, the biggest wingding in town.
Well, don't stand there. Go out and buy it for him.
Chief, a wingding is a dance, a party.
Oh, good. You know, I've been wanting to throw a big party for Mr. Clampett, and now that he's paying for it, let's go all out.
It's not to be for Mr. Clampett, it's for Ellie and Jethro, so they can meet other young people.
Oh, I see. A party and a dance for young people. Okay, let's give those kids a real thrill. We'll get Guy Lombardo. The sweetest music this side of heaven. Jump, 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 jump.
Chief, I believe young people today are dancing to a slightly different kind of music.
Wayne King, the Waltz King. Da, 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 dee, da.
Chief, that doesn't quite hit the target either.
Rudy Valley and the Connecticut Yankees.
I know it's a different beat today.
Swing and Sway with Sammy Kaye.
I'm afraid not.
I've got it. Clyde McCoy.
Chief, young people today just aren't dancing to those groups anymore.
Oh, what's the matter with these kids? Are they a bunch of squares?
Hardly, but time marches on, vogues change. Right now, groups like the Beatles are all the rage.
The who?
The Beatles. They're the most popular group in the world. Why, they get as much as $100,000 for one appearance.
They do?
Yes. Last year alone, they made something like $14 million.
Well, let's get them.
For the Clampett party?
No, for depositors.
Chief,
I tell you what. If you land the Beatles account, there'll be a set of dishes in it for them and an alarm clock for you.
Chief, I know the Beatles will be as overwhelmed as I am by your generosity.
Don't mention it.
Don't worry. Now, getting back to the Clampett wingding.
Just take care of it. Anything they want.
Well, inasmuch as the Clampetts aren't acquainted out here, they've asked me to make arrangements for the music. Now, the Beatles aren't available, but there are groups who have a similar appeal. Herman and the Hermits, Freddie and the Dreamers, the Animals, the Birds. Of course, they probably aren't available on short notice either, but here are some others on my list.
If I paid them 4.5% and loaned it out at 7.5%, no, make that 8.
Chief.
Yes?
For the Clampett wingding, I may be able to get the lizards, the frogs, the termites.
Well, get them. Whatever Granny wants to cook. Oh, I've been doing some figuring. And to help you land that Beatle account, I'll make that a set of dishes for each of them. I'll throw in a bowl of artificial flowers and a plastic meat platter.
Gee, Chief, you've taken all the challenge out of it.
Gonna fetch home. I thought that's what you went to town for, Mr. Lady Killer.
Better lay off me, Ellie Mae. I'm awful mad. I'm liable to forget you're my girl cousin and light into you.
Oh, come on, I don't care.
Well, I do. You always whipped the tar out of me.
I'm sorry, Jethro. I didn't know you hurt your finger.
That's the best thing that happened to me all day.
How'd you do it?
Whittling. That's the way Uncle Jed used to get girls.
Well, how come it didn't work for you?
Search me. I stood in front of some of the fanciest stores in Beverly Hills. Girls all over the place, and whittled up a storm. I mean, I was dropping 2-foot curlers like a goose drops feathers. You know what it got me?
What?
Arrested for littering the sidewalks. Then I figured I'd show off with some fancy knife twirling, like a 3.5 off my wrist and a side spinner off my ear, and a nose winder.
Didn't that get you nothing?
Yeah, 3 busted blades. Them cement sidewalks is murder on Mumbly Peg.
Well, Jethro, glad you're back. What's the matter? You look like somebody dropped a clod in your churn.
Jed, I didn't do no good at all with that whittling. You got no other way of meeting girls?
Matter of fact, I have.
Good.
And fellers, too.
I don't care nothing about them, just girls.
This is for Ellie Mae. And there's gonna be plenty of both. We're gonna throw you young'uns a wing day.
Thank you, Pop.
I'm just ashamed not to have done it sooner.
We gonna have lots of victuals and pretty girls?
And music and dancing.
And victuals and pretty girls?
And games and prizes and stuff.
And victuals and pretty girls, huh?
That's our word for it, young'uns. We gonna put the big pot on the little one.
Hi, Jane.
Greetings, all. Holding a family conference, are you?
I was just telling the young'uns about our wing ding. Miss Jane's gonna take care of getting the music first.
Who you gonna get, Miss Jane?
Well, I thought I'd spend the evening going to the places frequented by young people and auditioning the various musical groups.
Sound like a dandy idea.
Yes, of course, it'd be even dandier if I had someone to accompany me.
Well, I'll go.
Oh, well, perhaps we...
Speak up, Jethro.
Oh, I don't care if Ellie goes.
Well, I think that Granny's gonna need Ellie to help her in the kitchen tonight. But how about Jethro going?
Jethro? Now, that's a thought, if you'd like to.
Why, he is just squirming to go, ain't you, boy?
Yeah,
Oh, splendid, Jethro. I'll pick you up early. That will give us time to catch the lizards, the frogs, the termites, and possibly even the moles.
Thanks, Miss Jane, but you just worry about the music. Granny will take care of the victuals.
Yes. Well, au revoir.
I got a mojo woman, knows everything that I do. Oh yeah, I got a mojo woman, knows everything that I do. Oh yeah, she got two eyes on me, Lord. She got two eyes on you. She's going down to Louisiana to get a mojo man. Oh yeah, she's going down to Louisiana to get a mojo man. Oh yeah.
My goodness, it's rather wild, isn't it?
Huh?
I didn't expect it to be so frantic.
What'd you say?
I hardly think this is suitable to our need. It's too savage, too primitive. It just won't do. It just grabs you, doesn't it?
Hey, wait for me!
She's gonna show everybody, treat your leg kinda nice. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I've been looking the place over, and I think that front hall is best for square dancing.
Too bad we ain't got a barn.
Well, once we get it full of corn shucks and hay bales and pumpkins, one thing and another, that front hall's gonna look pretty good.
Well, I sure hope Jethro and Miss Jane find some good music tonight.
Hey, well, where'd they go, Granny?
Well, let's see. They started out at a place called Something a Go-Go.
Well, just so they come up with a good fiddle player.
Miss Jane? Well, Miss Jane, where are you? Huh?
Might as well give up, Earl. I know it's plumb past daylight, but Jethro is sleeping in this morning.
I gotta say one thing for California, Jed. No matter what time of year, you can always find flowers.
Want me to get these in water for you, Granny?
Please, honey. And then put them around the parlor. 'Cause that's where the old folks are gonna sit tonight while you young'uns are dancing.
Well, ain't you gonna dance?
Of course I am. I'm talking about old folks.
I dug up all the rocking chairs we got, Granny, but they ain't gonna be enough for all the old folks to rock.
Well, I'll pass around my rheumatism medicine. And them that ain't rockin' will think they is.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, car left, march! Halt! Good morning, Granny. Mr. Clampett?
Morning.
Are you all right?
All right. Do you know what time I got up this morning? 6 o'clock.
Jethro's sleeping in, too.
We all have mornings when we don't feel like getting out of bed.
I feel wonderful. I marched all the way from my house. Well, that's a good 100 yards. I guess I am a little bushed.
You look about the way Jethro did when he dragged in last night.
Yeah, him and Miss Jane was out awful late.
Yeah, the boy was dead on his feet, but he said that they found some mighty fine music for our wingding at that go-go place.
Plenty of young folks, too. Jethro hauled off and invited everybody that was there.
Well, I'm glad to know the music and guests are taken care of. Oh, by the way, did Miss Hathaway mention whether she had located the Beatles? Beatles?
Oh, I hope they ain't got into her garden. Them is the peskiest bugs.
Especially the potato beetles.
Oh, no. This is a group that sings and plays musical instruments.
The dickens you say?
Oh, yes, they're famous. They appear all over. They make a fabulous amount of money.
Singing Beatles, huh?
Well, let me know if Miss Jane finds them. I'd pay a quarter to see that myself.
Oh, no. You're still... They're like... Well, never mind. I saw a picture of them, and I'm still confused.
Jethro, did you get some good music for the wingding?
Did I ever? Wait till you see 'em, Ellie. 4 fellas that really wails.
Well, tell me about it.
You'll meet 'em when I fetch 'em home this evening. Right now, I got to go into town and get me some clothes and do something about my hair.
Well, Granny will cut your hair.
Cut it? Gee.
Morning, Mr. Drysdale.
Good morning, Ellie.
Let me get you a cup of coffee.
Oh, thank you.
How about a bowl of... Ellie Mae, there was 3 boxes of flakes in there.
Well, Jethro just finished breakfast.
Oh. Well, glad the boy's up. We can go out and get the decorations.
Jethro's gone to town, Pa. Said he'd be back this evening.
This evening? Why, we ain't gonna have time to fetch the trimmings for the hall.
Well, let me take care of that for you, Mr. Clampett.
Well, can you get hay and corn and pumpkins and such?
Anything you want. I'll have it brought in by the truckload.
I'd like some autumn leaves, if it don't cost too much.
Hang the cost. I enjoy spending money on my friends, especially when they can afford it.
Well, it's about time you was getting home.
Well, where'd you get all this stuff?
Never mind. Now get upstairs and change your clothes.
Where's them fellas you was gonna fetch home?
Miss Jane's bringing them. Here, Ellie. There's more on the truck. Granny, you got this place looking like a barn.
No, thanks to you. Now get upstairs and change your clothes. Go on, now get
What is it, Ellie?
Well, I ain't sure, Pa. It can't be a fiddle. There ain't no bow with it.
Not a banjo. It ain't round and it ain't got no skin on it.
Looks kind of like a guitar, except it ain't holler. And it don't hardly make no sound at all.
Reckon this is what them music fellas is gonna play?
I hope not. If your pa calls the dances above a whisper, he'll drown them out.
I'll see what else is on the truck. Doggone that, Jethro.
What's the matter?
Well, he said Miss Jane was fetching fellas. She just drove up with a whole carload of girls.
It was an honest mistake, Ellie. These girls are right, but they dress like fellers.
Greetings, Mr. Clampett. Your wingding musicians are here.
Hey, howdy, young fellers. Ladies? Well, welcome, everybody.
Gentlemen, these are the Clampetts. Clampetts, these are the enemies.
Howdy.
Hi, how are you?
Did she say they was the enemies?
Yes, sir.
I'm glad they ain't on our side.
Oh, they have some other things to unload.
Oh, good. Say, excuse me, but do any of y'all play the fiddle?
Well, if it's got a beat, we can fake it.
What do you make of it, Jed?
Jethro's got some explaining to do.
What about? How about this, huh?
Boy, have you looked in the mirror?
Why? Is my wig on crooked?
Your head's on crooked.
Why'd you get yourself up like that?
Well, this is the way all the fellas looks now.
Heck, fire, pal. I ain't gonna have no fun tonight if all the fellas look like girls.
Well, cheer up, Ellie. It might be some sport just sorting them out.
Hello, Granny. I wanted to get by earlier. How's the wingding? Are the young people dancing?
No! They're twitching and jumping like a bunch of worms on a hot rock. No wonder they got long hair. They can't stand still long enough to get it cut.
I hope Mr. Clampett isn't too upset.
No. Jed's finally got him quietened down. He's trying to learn him to square dance.
Wonderful. Let's go see how he's doing.
Right hand, your partner. Left hand. Both hands, your partner. Now, you see how easy it is? Especially when I call out the moves for you. Now, you reckon you can play that Turkey in a Straw tune?
Oh, sure.
Dandy. Let's get going.
What are they doing now, Jed?
Believe it or not, they are square dancing.
I'll be in the parlor with a jug and a rocker.
I'm with her.
Ellie?
I'm with them.
Me too, Ellie.